Let's go, baby. Now we're talking. Finally get a 3-game win streak. Finally, after getting stuck on 2-game win streaks, Leafs were able to get a win. Finally, but it wasn't just any win. Leafs were able to shut out the Vancouver Canucks, and they did just that. As the Leafs win 5-0 over the Vancouver Canucks, and you know what? We're coming back strong, and we are doing just that. We're coming back from the dead. And people are like, well, you got to blow it up. Fire the coach and, rebuild from the start. It didn't look like it out there. We're going back strong, and we're going to come back strong. And we are right within the playoff, right within playoff range, right within the playoff race. And thank God, because they're still behind, or not in a wild card spot yet, but if the Leafs can find a way, that'd be nice. Anyways, win's a win. And thank God, because you're playing against the Canucks, who got destroyed by the Detroit Red Wings 5-1, where Patrick Kane got his 500th career goal, or whatever the case may be. I mean, congrats to him. But I'm not worried about the Red Wings. I'm more concerned on the Leafs. So let's get to the video, shall we? So first in net, we're going to start with Joseph Woll. Now we're going to start with Thatcher Demko in the Canucks. And this was the case scenario. Okay, let's get started. First period of the game. Okay. Leafs were killing. We're like on the run. We're like chugging it around. Okay, Leafs had a 3-0 lead in this game. What a game! And they started the period strong. Okay, it didn't look pretty promising because a too many men on the ice call was being called on Toronto, but the Leafs were able to kill off that penalty. And of course, the Canucks get a penalty, and the Leafs take a 1-0 lead on a power play goal by Matthias Bocelli. It's 1-0 Toronto. Okay, pretty good stuff. Yeah, it gets even more hairy the moment I look at it. Oh, the Lord have mercy. That was bad. Another too many men on the ice call. I mean, what are we doing? But the Leafs were able to kill off that penalty yet again. And the Leafs take a 2-0 lead. I think. Yeah, they take a 2-0 lead. Then, of course, William Nylander scores 3-0. He returns from injury after being injured against the Senators. So the Leafs take a 3-0 lead heading into the first period. That is until the second period rolls around and we see, Thatcher Demko's not in net. Oh, they put in Kevin Lankinen. And I had a feeling this was going to happen because Kevin Lankinen was Leafs weren't able to score off of Kevin Lankinen. And I got so frustrated with that dude because he shut out the Leafs. But, however, Leafs were able to solve. At least they were able to solve. Kevin Lankinen. And they did justice. They did just that in the second period. Where the Leafs, of course, they get a turnover off of Vancouver. And John Tavares scores. It is actually 4-0 Toronto. All right, pretty good stuff there. We are doing pretty well. We got a fight between the other Pettersson and Max Domi, and I think Domi just hit the snot out of him. Oh wait, I actually forgot. The second goal was Max Domi, so now I screwed that up in the first period. So I said the Leafs take a 2-0 lead, and I didn't mention the guy, but it was Max Domi who scored in the first period for a 2-0 game. That's the guy that he destroyed. He actually took down, fought with that Pettersson guy. And everything was going well. And thank God the Leafs didn't take another penalty for too many men on the ice. It was actually pretty bad because the Leafs get a 4-on-4. They play 4-on-4 for roughing. And then Jake McCabe gets called for, I believe, a high stick, which I'm pretty much sure it wasn't high stick. Oh, no, wait. Was it roughing? I don't know. Or is it interference? I think it was interference on Morgan Riley, but it sucked. But at least we were able to kill off a 4-on-3 penalty, as well as just the regular penalty. And Scott Laughton almost had a shorthanded goal. And Kevin Lankinen didn't want that to happen. Like, wow. Wow, bro. So now we go to the third period, where the Leafs can close it out in the third period. Because their second period was great compared to what happened in the first part of the season. And where the second period was their worst period. But they were good in the second period. Now it's time to close down in the third period. And the Leafs did just that because they were able to avoid disaster from the Canucks, and the Leafs win. and the Leafs get a power play goal at the end by Nick Robertson. That's the goal. He scored on another power play goal to put the game away. The game was already over when it was 4-0 Toronto. So that was a victory for Toronto. What a game for the Leafs. Especially on a Saturday night where you play against the Canucks, who weren't that great this season. I know you got Evander Kane. I know you got some pieces, even Elias Pettersson. But still, the Canucks are just not good enough this season. I mean, I understand you won your first division for the first time since the 2011-12 season. Now after that, what happened? The Canucks just took a downfall. They peaked after winning the division, and they lose. I've never seen the Canucks go on a downfall after winning the division, and now they're the worst team in the NHL Pacific Division. I know you got teams like the Senators who suck. I know you got the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think the Winnipeg Jets are absolutely horrendous this year. After winning the President's Trophy, at least they ended their 11-game losing streak. And the Canucks? I didn't expect the Canucks to be this bad. I mean, normally they're supposed to be good, but they're not. Mostly because you got rid of Rick Tocchet. I know he's a good coach, but man, he got fired for this. Good Lord. But, however, the Leafs were able to get the win over a bad Canucks team who literally shut you out in January of last season. Yeah, Kevin Lankinen got a shutout against the Leafs. His undeserved shutout, and I still have that video to this day, where I still feel like it was undeserved by the Canucks. Leafs didn't deserve to get shut out by the Canucks. Now the Leafs returned the favor, and they gave the Canucks a taste of their own medicine. And you know what? It's a great win. So, game, set, match. What a victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, I'm pretty happy the Leafs won. They got the shutout. Joseph Woll, third shutout in his career. And, what a fun game. What a fun game for Toronto, especially against the Canucks. So we'll take this win. Let's go on a 3-game win streak. And now the hard part comes because you played against the Canucks. You played against an easier opponent. It's not going to get easier because now you got to go and play against the Colorado Avalanche, who are actually pretty good on the road. Good at home, excuse me. They were a good home team. They basically shut out the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0. Then you go on a second out of a back-to-back to play against the Utah Mammoth. Then you go to Vegas to square off with the Vegas Golden Knights, who have Mitch Marner, and I'm still pissed off with that. And then you go to Winnipeg. And then you go back home to start a 5-game homestand with the Minnesota Wild, the Detroit Red Wings, the Vegas Golden Knights, where Mitch Marner returns to Toronto, if that's the case scenario. The Avalanche, and the Buffalo Sabres, who is basically in contention of a wild card. Wow, what in the world was that? So I'm hoping that the Leafs can get back into playoff contention. I'm hoping the Leafs can get a win, so they can go on a win streak and get back to the top 3 where they rightly belong, because they do not belong in purgatory. They don't belong in the bottom of the Atlantic Division or the NHL. So we got to do what we got to do, and that is to win. And we're going to play against a good Avalanche team. So if we can win against a really good Colorado Avalanche team, I'm hoping to God we can get the win over the Avalanche. And one more thing. If I'm going to probably do the rant late in the night, it's either I'm probably going to do it the next day, 2 videos in one shot after the Utah and Colorado game, or I'll just probably do it in the basement, but I'm not so certain because, I'm going to wake up my entire house. I do not want that to happen again. And I swear, what am I supposed to do if I can't rant and scream late in the night? Oh, yeah, yell quietly, which there's no point in me doing that. I don't want to do an ASMR rant. This is just me doing my rant. I can scream, yell, do whatever I want. I know it's a game, but I don't care. I'm a Leafs fan, and I have my passion for the game I love. I want to see my team win or lose. I want to see my team win. If they lose, I get mad. If they win, I'm just happy. So, you know what? Let's take it one game at a time. Let's get back in this win. Let's get back to winning the right way. Okay, that's a start. Now you go and play against the Colorado. You play against the Colorado Avalanche. That's a team you should beat. Okay, let's do it. Monday night, and yeah, at least play against the Avalanche on my friend's birthday. And guess what the record? Guess what the Leafs record is when they play on January 12th? Yep, 0-4. 0-4. That's embarrassing because they haven't gotten a win on January 12th. Not even one freaking win. They only got like 0 wins out of it, which is pretty bad. So I'm hoping they can end that curse. They can get a win on my friend's birthday on January 12th, hopefully with a victory. So let's hope we get the win against a good Avalanche team. So let's do it, boys. Let's go, boys. Okay? Let's go, Leafs. Yeah! And also, I'm feeling a little better, so at least I can do this. Let's go, boys. Let's keep on winning. Let's keep on winning, guys.